release of Honkai Star Rail, I've been a little bit busy between both Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, which means that I've had to put a couple of things on the back burner. One of the things on the back burner was actually talking about Kaveh as a character. Now, it's not to say that I don't like Kaveh, it's just that Kaveh is a little bit lackluster, especially from when I was actually like looking at his kit before, thinking that he was gonna be this Bloom expert. And in all honesty, he's not bad, but it's the same kind of reaction I had when it came to Toma almost, except for Kaveh's a little bit, you know, more useful in this case. Since we have so many shielders now and Kaveh really is a niche when it comes to Bloom teams. So today we're going to be talking about a build guide for Kaveh, which means that we're going to be going over like a whole bunch of stuff in regards to like ascending him all the way from level 1 to level 90, checking out his talents, and of course kind of going from there and really just diving into the character. So what is going on, my dudes? Natasha here, back again with another Genshin Impact video. And of course, you guys like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. And of course, leave a comment. We'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about with Kaveh is, of course, his ascension. So while you're looking at this little chart right here, bear in mind that most of the stuff that you see right here on this bottom level is going to be the grand total of things that you're going to need. So here's what you're going to need as follows. You're going to need the Nagatus Emerald Silver, which is, you know, base form of the, I'm losing my mind on this, the Dendro material. So you're going to need one of these in total. You're gonna need 9 of these fragments in total, which actually, let's just scroll up here. There we go. Better way to look at it. You're gonna need 9 of these fragments right here. You're gonna need 9 chunks, and you're going to need 6 of the gemstones. Now, again, as we've said before in videos previously, you're gonna need 3 silvers to make a fragment. You're gonna need 3 fragments to make a chunk, and 3 chunks to make a gemstone. So bear in mind of that. Where you can get these. Now, we talked about this in the previous build guide as well, but you could get these from the Terror Shroom, or the Dendro Chicken, as I like to call them, Dendro Hypostasis, and of course, the Apep boss fight that you have that you can battle once a week. So you can get those from there. Now, the Quelled Creepers, as you see right here, is a boss mat that you get from the Dendro Hypostasis as well. So you're basically hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, and you need 46 of these Quelled Creepers in total to make sure you ascend from 1 to 90. Now, one of the things that just came out in the previous update with the new area is the Morning Flower. You're going to need 168 Morning Flowers to be able to ascend him from level 1 to level 90. Of course, characters that'll help you look for stuff around the area are a must for this specific reason. You want to make sure that you have a character. Who's a character that does that? I don't think it's Dia. Dia doesn't do that, but We'll figure it out later. We'll figure out a character that does it. But you're also going to need these pollens. Now, the fungal spores, the luminescent pollen, and the crystalline cyst dust. Thank you. You're going to need a grand total of 18 of the fungal spores. You're going to need 30 of the luminescent pollens and 36 of the crystalline cyst dust, as you see there. And that's gonna be it for ascending from level 1 to level 90. Now, of course, bear in mind, you get these little crystalline dusts from the fungi, and you have to activate them or scorch them, basically, in this sort of aspect. It's a little difficult. You have to make sure to activate the dendro spores on them, and it creates this whole thing. It's very challenging to deal with, in my personal opinion, especially when you need specific ones. Now, as we scroll down, we're going to go into the talent books. Now, the talent books for Kaveh, you can go for a triple crown, but honestly, I think that you should just go with the, bare maximum, in my opinion, is a 777. I don't think you need to go any more than that. But if you do want a triple crown, the list goes as follows. You're going to need 3 Teachings of Ingenuity for 1. So that's 9 in total, 9 teachings of ingenuity. You're going to need 63 guides of ingenuity, which is the blue one. And for the purples, you're going to need 114 philosophies of ingenuity. So remember, 3 teachings make a guide, 3 guides make the philosophy. Yeah. Sorry, it's a little bit late for me. But you're going to need 18 more of the fungal spores. You're going to need, 66 more luminescent pollens, and you're going to need 93 crystalline cistus extra on top of what you're doing to ascend your characters. Now, outside of that, the new Apep boss fight, you're going to need this material, the primordial green bloom. You're going to need 18 in total to triple crown. But honestly, all you're going to need for the straight 7s across the board is 3. That's my personal opinion. Hell, you could even just go with 2 and level up the skill of burst. Sorry, still trying to wake up a little bit. But outside of that, you're only gonna need 3 crowns of insight if you're going to triple crown, and 7.1 million mora, as we've talked about previously. Every character is gonna need 7.1 million mora in general. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Kaveh in general, because Kaveh is, I wouldn't say easy to build, because it is pretty straightforward for the most part on how to really build him. So let's go ahead and go over some of the stuff. The one weapon that you want to go for is the mailed flower. Now this one came out in the previous update in version 3.6. So getting this one ready to go, you want to make sure to get it done like ASAP Rocky on this one. Now, as you can see, I haven't had refinement 5 because I did that whole entire event. But the problem is that if you don't have that weapon, like if you weren't here for this somehow, some way, you could go for the Makara Aquamarine, which is a weapon that you get from, you know, weapon banners and stuff like that. So you could go for that. Another weapon that's a little bit easier to access that you could use is the Rain Slasher. With the Elemental Mastery being on it at a maximum of 165, it works pretty well. It goes above and beyond the amount of Elemental Mastery that your free-to-play Mailed Flower is going to give you, so there is that. You do get a little bit more. And increases damage against opponents affected by Hydro and Electro, which means that you are going to be running it on a Bloom team or a, what's it called? Yeah, Aggravate team. There we go. Sorry. Trying not to yacht so much, but I'm very, very tired. But yeah, for artifacts wise, there's a couple ways that you could go about it. I went Gilded because I think 4-piece Gilded works well with the 80 extra Elemental Mastery. Within 8 seconds of triggering an elemental reaction, the character equipping this will obtain buffs based on the elemental type of the other party members. Attack being increased by 14% for each party member whose elemental type is the same, or if they're different, you get 50 Elemental Mastery, which is really good. I think it works out perfectly, especially with the stuff that you're going to be seeing with this team, as you see. Now, the biggest thing that you want to worry about with Kaveh, right? Your top priorities are EM and ER. I would say, like, with how you're building him, artifacts-wise, to go for, like, more Elemental Mastery than anything, probably preface more ER with your artifacts having that Elemental Mastery being the premise. And then, of course, you have attack percentage and then your crits. Honestly, I would put crits over attack percentage, but that's just me. Now, for your main big things, your sands should be either Elemental Mastery or Energy Recharge. Your goblet should be Dendro damage, and your circlet should be Elemental Mastery. Now, instead of a 4-piece Gilded, you could go a different route. You could go the 2-piece Gilded, 2-piece, what's it called? Why am I messing up so badly on this? I'm actually kind of bad. Here it is. You could go for the 2-piece of Wanderer's Trope. I don't know why I messed that up. My brain's all wonky right now. But the reason why you would go for the 2-piece is because they both give 80 points to Elemental Mastery. So that'd be a really, really good set for you to use. Another one is Deepwood Memories. Deepwood Memories actually works really, really well. And if you're going for the 4-piece, you get the 15% Dendro damage. And then after elemental skills or burst hit opponents, the target's Dendro resistance will be decreased by 30% for 8 seconds. So those would be the sets that I would kind of use. And your main focus for, let's say, the talents here As you can see, I got this to level 9. I'm not very happy about it, but yeah, not very good wise with my talents. But your preface should be your burst, then your skill, then your auto attack. Honestly, like I said before, you don't really need to focus too much on the auto attack because you're going to be mainly focusing on your switch outs and go from there. Now, this is going to be a demonstration on what a Bloom team can do. This is kind of a free-to-play Bloom team that you could really go. Oh my gosh, Kaveh, shush. So our main goal is to get Bloom going ASAP Rocky. So let's go ahead and get Xingqiu going.
Let me weave.
And then we're gonna put that out there. And then the whole Kaveh's whole thing is being able to do that. Now those blooms detonate every time he activates his skill or burst, which is fantastic because that's a little extra damage that you could do as you're going on. And we're gonna go into what these skills really do here in a second once we get done with Masanori here. But that is why it's important to run him on a bloom team, because the amount of bloom that you could get really does help you out. Now he's gonna go into his little thing. Now let's go ahead and get this going again.
Witness the power of Gurwa. Hold the line. Go.
Come at me.
Boom. See how bloom does work a little bit? It works pretty dang well for this. Then we activate that, get more bloom artifacts to go. He's gonna think he's got this. He does not, because he's trash. We activate these again. Boom. And then to really drive it home.
Scanning. Watch and learn.
Oh, we didn't get the thing go. Oh, there we go. All right. So the reason why Bloom was effective with him is because of what his talents can do. And we're gonna go over that really quick. His skill right here, the artistic ingenuity, uses Makrit's mapping ability, which is his little sword that comes out of the briefcase, for offensive purposes, initiating a radial scan that deals AoE dendro damage. It will also scan all dendro cores in its AoE and cause them to immediately burst, which is the blooms. And then of course you have your burst, the painted dome, completely unleashes Makrit's energy and creates a cubic scan space, dealing AoE dendro damage to all opponents within it, causing all dendro cores in its AoE to immediately burst, and granting Kaveh the following enhanced combat abilities for a specific duration. Increases Kaveh's normal charge and bludgeoning attack AoE and converts his attack damage to dendro damage that cannot be overridden. All dendro cores created by all your own party members through bloom reactions will deal additional damage when they burst. Increases Kaveh's resistance to interruption. These effects will be canceled once Kaveh leaves the field. So it's important that you have him with the bloom team because it works out so well. And then of course your first ascension, when damage dealt by a dendro core, including damage from Bergeron and Hyperbloom, hits Kaveh, Kaveh will regain HP equal to 300% of his elemental mastery. That's why you want to have a high elemental mastery with Kaveh. And then during Painted Dome, and this is the second main ascension ability, after Kaveh's normal charge or bludgeoning attacks hit opponents, his elemental mastery will increase by 25. This effect can be triggered once every 0.1 seconds max force stack. So the only thing that sucks about this for me is that I'm usually switching him out to get other characters out there, especially when you're doing a bloom or when you're trying to do bloom. As you can see too, my constellation for Kaveh is at a 4, so that's great. And my elemental mastery in general is at a 992, which means that I'm gonna be restoring a lot of HP. So you saw kind of the free-to-play one, but what about like more of a pay-to-play? And as you can see here, this is going to be the pay-to-play Bloom team with Kaveh, Nahida, Nilou, and Yelan. Kind of the same concept as the previous team we did before, but this is in case you guys are trying to run a more pay-to-play team. But like I just showed you, really don't need a pay-to-play team to be able to do what I was able to do. Now let's go ahead and get this going. Just gonna get the Hydro on him real quick. Now I do have the key of Kajna's suit on her right now for Nilou. So
Here comes the catch.
ah gosh.
Sight clear.
Now try to get this going. It does work out pretty well. We're gonna keep on getting these cores.
Come at me.
Now, as you can see, that worked a lot better than the previous team because of how I was able to activate all those cores. So, ultimately, it's not that Kaveh is bad. It depends on how you want to use him. If you want to use him as your DPS, I feel like he is only strong in a team for Bloom. And that's the sad thing, because when you're looking at a DPS, you don't want it to be necessarily just Bloom. Him working in this team with Nilou, Nahida, and Yelan, as you just saw, is perfect. But this is like almost best case scenarios. Yelan's got her best weapon. Nahida's got the Wit Sith at R5. Nilou's got her best weapon, and Kaveh's got his best weapon. This is like best of all. This is what you got, except for maybe I could have Nahida's weapon in general. But at the same time, even the free-to-play does decently well. So I would still say that Kaveh is decent, but he's not great. And again, you're stuck with the Bloom team. If you love Bloom, which I know a lot of people do, he's great. He works really well with the Bloom team, especially when you got him like I do with the, you know, so much Elemental Mastery. Now it's down to 816 because of the team change.
Where's my...
But the amount of like stuff that you could do with him is very much contrived in a box. And I don't like characters that are stuck in a box. I like characters who could roll with multiple teams. Like if you look at a Hu Tao, she could work on a Vaporized team. She could work on a Melt team. She could work on a Burn team. She could work on multiple teams. She could just be a regular DPS on a team and still get you through stuff. Kaveh, I feel, is stuck with this niche of Bloom, and that's why I say, in all honesty, and it's not to be mean to Kaveh, that I feel that he's mid. Now, of course, let me know in the comments below if you think that I am wrong. I'd definitely love to hear you guys' opinion on this, because I don't want to be just known as a Kaveh hater. I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion, so let me know. Would love to hear it. So, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. And, of course, leave a comment. Love to hear you guys' opinions on this. But that's going to be it. Love you all to death. And, as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care. Be safe, y'all.